This year we have the great pleasure of having Trevor Thomson, who represents the Karuk tribe of
Northern California. Yeah.
And we won't have to do an indigenous acknowledgement because Brother Trevor is going to do that for us.
Beautiful.
As we present the evening presentation. He represents the northern tribes. Last year we actually had someone locally from the Tongva community, which is the regional community from here, and they actually live very close to here. We live like 3 houses down. But they were actually going to be in New Zealand these days.
That's awesome.
For some sort of international Native Indigenous conference that was happening, representation. So we are blessed to have Trevor here this evening. So welcome, Trevor.
Thank you. Good to be with you. Thanks for coming tonight. We have to light our sacred fire. There's rules and regulations up here, so just use your imagination. Or shall we use it even more so? What do you think? Is that a sacred fire enough with the sparkly jewels? It'll help us later. Just welcome. So great to be with you. This is the time of the year to tell stories. This is the right time, the cold weather. This is where you have to use your imagination. Imagine that there's a big fire here and we're all around it. And it's tonight we would just see the clouds, but the stars are above us. And it's beautiful. Anyway, we have to acknowledge where we're at, which is we're on sacred land. We're standing, when we're outside, I always think of, we're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. That cement, was made from those stones from the mountain. And we know that the stones were the first people here on this beautiful planet that we live on. I want to recognize here in this area the Tongva people that we talked about. Some people forget that the Tongva people, they're not just mission Indians, but they're the Tongva, the first people of this land. And if you travel a little further west, we know that the Chumash, that's their ancestral territory. And tonight I want to tell you some stories just from them as well. And we've got some more beautiful people out this way. And in my elder years, sometimes I feel like I'm older than I am, but memory is very full up here. I forget who's there. Forgive me. But this whole land was all the first people. So we want to acknowledge that and give gratitude for those people who lived here and their stories and their lives that they lived. And the medicine and stories that they passed down to us. It's important. As Daniel said, I'm from Northern California, although I was born in East LA, White Memorial Hospital. And I really want to share with you we've come a long way as Native Indigenous people. My mom was 15 years old, and she came from the north, from up there in Karuk country. And my grandfather brought her down here to Los Angeles, 16 I think she was, all by herself. Rented her a house and said, good luck. You're safer here than up there. At the time when she was growing up, and my mom's not that old, considering, well, I don't know. I guess it's all, you guys are younger. My mom's in her 70s. But she thought that she was being brought because she wasn't good enough. She found out later, moving back up to the ancestral territory, she found out what the real reason was. And it was dangerous. And it was not a safe place to be. A lot of yucky stuff was happening up there. So anyway, we don't always make the best choices as parents. So if you guys have a parent, I'm pretty sure you're from parents, you've got to forgive them. Tonight I want to share some of my culture and these stories that were passed down to me. I want to share them with you too. But this is the time. This is the time of storytelling. And I got to tell you, I got a call I don't remember, was it this year or last year? But it was like July. And someone said, will you come and tell stories? And I said, do you live up here in the Northern Hemisphere? And they said, yes. And I said, no. And they said, why? Because I said, it's not the time to tell stories. This is the time. As a storyteller, we've been told that you can't just tell stories any time of the year. This is the time to tell stories because the world is a little bit darker. We have a little more night now. And so this is the time where families gather and tell stories. I'm gonna tell you songs or sing you songs and tell stories from California specifically. Yeah, we know that stories from the Lakota people are similar but different, and it's all because of our experiences of where we came from. An example would be for us Karuk people. We live on the Klamath River up in Northern California, and everything for us is based off of that river. So like when I talk to Karuk people up there, they say, where are you from? And I say, I live south of the river. And they say, oh, where? In Los Angeles. And they're like, wow, that's far. My mom lives just north of the river. And so everything is based off of the river and the mountains up there. So like Karuk means the upriver people. And our neighbors, the Yurok, means the downriver people. So it's all based on the river that connects us all. And it's the Klamath River that runs up there. That beautiful river, it's something exciting happened for us as Native people up there. They took down 4 dams. 4 dams that have been blocking the flow of the river and the salmon for a lot of years. And so this is the first year that the salmon are coming back strong as ever, spawning. It's just exciting because I'm from a bear clan and we eat salmon. And so when the salmon are doing their thing, you know what's coming next. But we gotta get into this here. We gotta get to singing. I want to sing you look at a spider web. I probably should have kept it on there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one there. I know it sounds creepy, but I can tell you why later. Probably because I need to move this drum more often. But secondly, spiders are the story spinners. So seeing that web tells me we're in the right place. But I want to start us off with a song before we even get into storytelling. And this is a song from the Chumash people, just a little bit west of us. And it's the way that they begin all of their ceremonies. And so tonight, as we're hearing stories, we're really in a ceremony. And these stories tell us of who we are, of who we belong to, and where we're going. And so you may not know these songs yet, but you will. And by the way, I'm a very proud owner of this square drum. There's only a very few tribes that have a square drum, Karuk. But it was made by a woman, which is totally against the law in Karuk law. And she came, and Elena, Dr. Elena. I love it. Inside, I don't know if you could see it. Do you see something in there? Mm-hmm. Do you see something? Let's see. Can you see it? Oh. Inside, there's an eagle feather. And that's so that these stories and these songs can soar up and get off the ground, especially for a bear. Yeah. Isn't that cool? So. got to give it from your gut. Oh, very good. You know, I got to tell you, I have no idea why Karuk drums are square. I have no idea. Every other drum in every other tribe is round, and ours is a square. Might be the 4 directions.
That's what I was going to say.
I could hear it. I could hear it out of you. And that's what we just did. We sang 4 verses for the 4 directions. There's when we gather sage. Look, you could see the feathers flying over there, taking our prayers. So when we gather sage, sometimes you probably know, right? Our native garden that's just out there, looking good out there. Plants, they're beautiful. We sing a song like that to open up when we gather the medicine. But we do 7 directions. We get a little more extreme out there. So we honor the east out there. It's the beginning of the cycle where this, oh, sorry. I told you I wouldn't go too far out. Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. The east, where the sun rises. It's the beginning of the cycle. In our life cycle, it's when we're birthed, when we come into being. And the east, then we move to honor the direction of the south. And in our lifetime, it would be kind of like summertime, or like a teenager in the world of growing. But we honor all our relations in the south. And then we face the west. And the west is kind of tricky because the west is the setting sun, but it's also, that reminds us of the place of dying. That there's the rising, but then there's always the dying. It has to happen. Even right now when we're in this fall, you know, the leaves are turning colors if you're in certain places. The palm trees turn brown, right? Here for us. But like, not really. But you know, like if you're like in Massachusetts, it's like red, right? Those, yes, right? Not here. It's always green. I like to pretend that it changes. But go through Claremont. There's a couple of trees like that. And you'll be like, I'm home. But this is the place of dying. And it's okay. It's part of the cycle. And then we face the north. And is this your first time like experiencing a year in California? Okay. There will be a time in January or February, even right now. There's snow up there now. And I want to teach you a song, sing you a song. But it's the north, the white hair of grandma and grandpa. It's the place of the elder. And then it always returns back over here into the east. But when we're outside gathering medicine, we also honor all of our relations above us. The birds, the air, that's part of it too. Whatever is up there, you know, the clouds that's bringing the water to us. And then we always honor what's below us. Not everybody likes to honor what's below us, because that's like the worms and the ants and the roaches, you know. But we got to have them. And let me tell you why. I forgot the 7th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 7th direction. And this way of praying is a very old and sacred way. The 7th direction is the center, where you're standing. And so it's a sacred place. The center where you're at is a sacred place. You hold space that's very sacred. And so don't forget that. Wherever you're at, that's the center of the world. You know? Wherever you're at, that's the center. And you can find yourself where you're at, remembering those directions. And remembering that we're all connected. If there's anything of stories that I tell you tonight, my cables. The most important thing that I hope you remember is that we're all connected, all of us. Not just the 2-legged ones, but the animals, the plants. We wouldn't survive if we didn't have the trees, right? Who would get the carbon dioxide? We'd be dead. The water of life. Yeah, I have a friend who's Gaelic, and the water of life is Ishkabaha, but it's also like whiskey. Don't tell anybody. Thanks for the Ishkabaha. So now that you have that prayer of the 7 directions, I want to tell you our creation story. And there's a few. There's a lot of them. You know, you've probably heard the story of, you know, God made the animals, you know, that story. But this is a little different one. This is a story from my people. And Karuk people, they've done the testing on bones and all kinds of stuff. And we've been up in that northern country just south of the Oregon border. We've been up there for 12,000 years. It's a long time. Whoever was the first one picked a great spot. It's beautiful. And remember, we always are connected to that river. And that river is where we get food. It's the river that brings us directions. When a Karuk person dies up in that country, he or she's body is taken across the river into a certain place in the mountains. And my ancestors are buried there. My great-great-grandma, my great-great-grandfather, they're buried in those places. But it's important that they have to cross the river. It's part of the ritual. That's how connected to the river we are. But, you know, do you guys, like, I know you're young, but did you ever see Star Wars? Okay, right. I just want to make sure. We talked about my cousin Verne in a staff meeting the other day, and like there was like, forgive me guys, I'm not trying to be generational, but like there was some young people that are like, my cousin Daisy, what? What's that? What do you mean Utes? What are you talking about? What? So like, yeah, you've seen Star Wars. Remember how it starts off in the right, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, right? Or like in a fairy tale, a long time ago, right? We have the same beginning. When we tell a creation story, we say this word. It's very secret. I'm totally joking. The word is Ukni. Ukni means, let me tell you a creation story. So Ukni, a long, long time ago, in a galaxy right here. Before we were created, the creator of all, the earth was. And everything that we needed was already there. But we weren't yet. So time went by, and there were beings already here. And they were called Ikariaus, which means the holy ones. Not like a saint, you know what I mean? When you think of like saints, like St. Francis, not like that necessarily, but the holy ones, the Ikariaus. So anyway, the Creator was thinking, it's time to make people. Let's make some people. He was excited. And he gathered all the Ikariaus and he said, you know, we're going to make people and they're going to have a beautiful life here, but they're going to get hungry. They're going to be thirsty. Sometimes they're going to get sick and they're going to need medicine. And so the Creator asked all of those holy ones, the Ikariaus, he said, would you be willing to help out the humans? And they were like, yeah, let's do it, right? And so each one of those Ikariaus became one, like someone decided to become a beautiful oak tree. That's a great choice, right? Someone was like, I'm going to be sage. I'm going to turn into sage. They're going to need sage for medicine. And so each one of those holy ones turned into everything, like coyote, eagle, bear. Woohoo! Go Bears. And like even like the roaches. I know I keep talking about roaches. I don't have a weird roach thing, but I'm just thinking one of them decided to be the roach, you know? The longest living one of all. That's what nobody understood. Except for, I forgot to tell you about the stone people. The stone people are really important. The stone people are the first people, the very, very first people on the earth. And they hold all the stories of the earth. So that's why when we go into a sweat lodge, we use stones. And we bring in the stone people with a lot of reverence. And I know you're probably thinking, why are you calling them people? Well, because they are. They're the Ikariaus, right? And when we bring them into the sweat lodge, they're telling us the stories that we've forgotten about. They have a great job. So just remember, when you see the stones, like, don't just kick it or throw it in the water. But remember, they hold the stories. You might be like, tell me a story. but not around your friends because your friends will think you're crazy. But anyway, that's just an inside information. So they all chose to be all of these different things: water, air, grass, tobacco. What else? Like little seed things. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Like someone decided to be a salmon. They're like, I know, they're going to want to eat me. It's okay. They're going to do it. But that's how the world started. And so after all these eukaryotes became this stuff, that's when the Creator made us. And so, of course, there were times when we were hungry and we ate salmon and deer meat. Oh, my goodness. And acorn soup, even though it's really hard to make. and wheat for pan dulce. Oh, yum, yum. The bear's coming out. Watch out. But all the medicines, everything that ails us, there's a plant and a medicine that's there for us. And we've forgotten about that. I forget all the time. Anyway, that's the end of the story. Now you know how the earth was created. But I want to share you a couple more versions of that. But before so, last year, I got really sick and I had pneumonia. And like I was taking medicine and it was like, this is not really helping. I'm sure it was helping, but it didn't feel like it, right? So I'm like, what would people take that didn't have Mucinex, you know? Like they couldn't go to the store to buy it. And I asked Elena, we have a friend, Dr. Elena Cardenia. She's an awesome person. And she knows so much. But anyway, I told her what I was going through, and she said, I know what you need. You need some osha root. And I'm like, all right, what's osha root? And she got me this, it like smells like cucumber, but it's like been in the dirt for a long time, so it's like the root of a plant. And she says, what you do is you get a pot, and you can never use that pot again. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening here? But I used osha root, and you steam it, and you breathe it in, and you cough out a lot of stuff, and you breathe it in again and cough again. But I got better, you know? And in my head I thought, I forgot that there was a medicine for this. Thank God for Elena, you know? Or all the elders that remember the medicines that were given to us. So anyway, there's another creation story, not from the Karuk people, but our neighbors. I think it's a Miwok story. And it talks about that before everything was, the Creator made this rock out in space. And he put everything on the rock that we know now. Everything that was is. Everything that is was. And everything that was is already on that rock. But that rock would find its place out there in the dark of space. And that rock felt lonely. And nobody was there with it. And so she cried. And she cried so much that the rivers started to form. And the lakes started to form from all of those tears. She cried so much that there were oceans that were created. That's how much she cried. That's how lonely she was. And then the Creator said, He sent Coyote to get mud from underneath the ocean. He sent Coyote to dive down. Coyote is kind of like California superhero. When Coyote does stuff, he's a trickster, but he does great things. But Coyote went down, and he would grab up mud from underneath where she cried, and then he'd put it on the land. He'd dive back down. He would make the mountains. And so that's how, for the Miwok people, that's how the earth was created. Good old Coyote and a lot of tears. Maybe some blood, sweat, and tears. I don't know. But I love it. I love the differences in our stories. And I think when we hear these stories, it tells us a little something different than we would have ever thought of, you know? Like, if using your imagination, you can imagine. Coyote made those mountains, according to the Miwok people. you know? Back to the Karuk people, something that's important is, and I want to share this with you. Here, I'm going to walk around. This is a sacred circle. I don't know if you noticed. Do you notice the square? It's kind of like a square drum. I think I need a circle blanket. There's a place where we live, where my people come from, and it's called Katamin. And Katamin is so important to us. It's a big peak, and it's connected right to the river. Here, you got to hold this. You got to feel it. This is a piece of Katamin. I asked permission before I took it, and I think I heard the answer was yes, but I could be wrong, because Katamin talked to me in Karuk. But anyway, Katamin is like this mountain that's made kind of I think that's shoal. I think it's called shoal. Mm-hmm. I'm not a rock person, but I think that's what it's called. And so you got to share it, you got to feel this. So in Katamin, the reason why it's so important, 2 reasons. It's by this place called Ishipishi Falls. And this is where the salmon make their final leap up before they reach the Karuk people. So like they circle in this pool. The falls are, it's incredible. Like imagine a waterfall that's kind of rocky, but it's a waterfall. And these salmon are jumping up on the rocks, trying to get over. They don't always make it. And so they go back in the pool again. But once they finally make it, that's good news, because that means we're eating again. So we wait for that moment. And as a matter of fact, we can't go further down south, downriver, until we can't eat salmon unless they jump over the falls. So that's why the salmon coming back are so important to us, you know? Like there's all these rules and regulations, but there's a reason for that. But anyway, that's the second reason why that's important. But the first reason, there's caves there in Katamin. It's very mysterious. I don't know if you believe in Bigfoot, but Bigfoot's out there. We do, very much so. The elders say he has kind eyes, which is kind of cool. But anyway, it's in those caves where we came out of. Remember when I told you about the story, the Ikariaos, and then he made people? The people came out of the earth, and they came out of those caves from Katamin. This is, I think it's so important, like, to hear a story is one thing, but to connect with something tangible, it's something incredible. So at that place at Katamin is where we have something called the World Renewal Ceremony. And we do it, it's now like the Olympics. We do it every 5 years instead of 4. But like they used to do it every single year. And at those ceremonies, they would be praying for the healing of the earth. So like the Karuk people, we've been praying for the healing of the earth for generations. And it's a beautiful ceremony. But I have one more thing to show you. By the way, we like to make baskets. Very beautiful. Very proud of these. You got to feel these. They're kind of fragile, but not really. Some of these baskets that we make are humongous. And that's how we make, you can tell I'm hungry. That's how they make the acorn soup in these big old baskets. And it's like, imagine like a big old pot, but they're made out of that. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
How do they line it?
They just do it so tight. I don't know. I've never made one.
You gotta.
I know. I gotta try, but I don't know. My hands are getting old. But these stones, off of the river are all of these little creeks and stuff like that. When a Karuk goes into the river in the summertime to swim, you don't go in the river because it's too dangerous. It's really fast, really swift. But you go off to these little creeks. This is somebody in here. Are they trying to hear our stories? I got this out of you could touch them. This was at one of the creeks we were swimming at, and we were swimming with baby salmon. It was so cool. And I'm like, I got to grab some stones to remember this. They were like this big. And I just said, you got to grow strong, grow big, little salmon. Good luck. So anyway, but this is from a little place where or we go swimming. So anyway, I love sharing these stories with you, but we got to sing another song. Are you up for one? I'll take your silence as a yes. You know what? Hold on. Before we sing a song, let me share this with you. Okay. We remember how we like acorns and acorn soup? Thank you, brother. This little basket, this is a hat. It's not a bowl. But this basket, my mom gave to me. And I have kind of a funny story. I think it's funny. I don't know. You may get mad at me for telling me this story. But, so the acorns, you remember when you grab an acorn and it has a little cap? It's supposed to look like an acorn cap. We love acorns so much that like we want to become the acorn people. Like, really? And then so like I've worn this hat to ceremonies. And one time I wore this up to a ceremony where Karuk people were, right? It wasn't all the way up, but it was pretty close, right? And this guy came up to me and he's all, cousin, why are you wearing a woman's hat? And I was all, what do you mean? He's all, yeah, these are women's hats. He was Karuk. And I said, because my mom gave it to me. And he started laughing. He's like, oh, like whatever, you know. So like, my mom gave me a woman's hat to wear to ceremonies and didn't tell me, only women wear these hats. You've seen me in this hat, right? I still wear it. I do it. I don't care. But what I love about this hat, again, these hats, like one person made each one of these hats, you know? And they're made out of like bear grass, out of the grass that comes out of the river. And most importantly, the river, connected again. This hat, it got ink on it, my daughter. For the love of God. This is her hat. This is her beautiful hat. This hat that my mom gave me was made by an elder. And in her prime, she was one of the best basket hat makers in the tribe. But I want to show you. I want you to see this hat, okay? Never mind the red marker that my daughter was using coloring. Anyway, you'll start here. But I want you to just kind of see how it's round and it looks like it fits somebody's head, right? Beautiful colors. And then I want you to notice this one, all right? And like, look at the difference, okay? You see, kind of see like, it's not so round. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit wonky, right? All right, you got to pass. I got to tell you what happened to this hat. This hat, and the reason why I'm so proud to wear this hat, is the last hat that woman made in her life. And she was like 82 years old making that hat. And she made it for my mom. And her eyes were 82-year-old eyes that had stopped seeing things so sharply. Her hands were 82-year-old hands that couldn't tie them just tight as they used to be able to. And so, to me, the beauty of this hat is in its brokenness. It's not perfect, but there's something beautiful in that, you know? And it reminds me, it's like us, like we're not perfect. Some of us think we are. Some of us maybe are, I don't know. But we're like that basket hat. Maybe not perfect, but beautiful. I love the pattern she made. It's just so good. And what I love most of all is when I put that hat on, I think of her. I think of that woman, and I think of my mom. So, and then I see my daughter's hat with red, and I go, oh my gosh, what's happening here? What's wrong? All right, let's sing another song. But do you see how tightly woven that basket really is? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see. What story should I tell you next? I love it. She used 3 different types of grasses. The dark one is bear grass, and the tan one is willow, and the lighter one I don't remember what it is. I'm not a basket maker. I'm just a storyteller. Talk about not taking responsibility for my own actions. I could learn, for goodness sakes. Oh, the spider web. Can I tell you about that? The reason why I didn't want to take the spider web off of my drum, let me tell you why. Most people, like I would have normally been like dusting it off, but when I saw it there, remember, my mom and dad, before they moved back to Happy Camp, is the name of where they live. My mom calls it Melancholy Camp. Everybody up there's like, you know, maybe they had high hopes that people living there would be happy. I don't know. But so my mom and dad, they worked for the LA Times. When the newspaper was the big old paper, it was all done out of LA, right? So they kind of got asked to retire early. And my mom and dad moved to New Mexico. And they moved northern New Mexico, kind of by Taos. And in that, they were in this place called the Owenge Pueblo, the Pueblo people up there. And my mom learned so much from them. And one of the things she told me, that's why I chose not to take that web off. She said there'd be a storyteller that would come this time of the year. This is storytelling time. And she said, like a couple of days before she would show up, the storyteller, all of these spiders would come out and start making webs everywhere. And wherever she was telling the story, they would be like she'd be telling a story and there'd be a spider that would crawl out. You know, people like, oh my gosh, or you know, they knew what to expect. But like storytelling, it's like you're spinning a web. It sounds silly, right? But like when I saw that, I immediately was like, my mom, the storyteller. Today I'm the storyteller. So I'm not a big spider fan. Even though I like to spin webs. I'm not a big fan of the big spiders. Anyway, shall we sing another song? Okay. What to share with you? There's so many songs, so little time. Okay. I want to teach you a song. So remember, the Acariaos and all the people that come to help us, right? I want to sing a song for you about vulture. You know the vulture? The big winged vulture with the ugly red head? And it was like creepy looking. So like there's really a lot of stories about vulture. Like vulture eats everything, right? Everything dead. We see vulture as the earth cleaner. So like when earth needs cleaning up, the vulture shows up, right? Like when our lives are a little messy, guess who shows up? The vulture. And his name in Karuk is Atipi Mamwan. Atipi Mamwan. I want to teach you his song. Or her song. I don't know. There's girl ones too. I had stage 4 cancer. And the day I found out I had cancer, 2 things happened. Number 1, I saw a bald eagle that was above my tree in Azusa. And I knew there are bald eagles in the canyon, right? And there's golden eagles, but I knew when I saw that bald eagle I was going to be okay. Because there's not a lot of bald eagles flying in Azusa by target, you know? And so I knew that day I saw that I would be okay. Throughout my journey, even today, I have 1 more year before I can say I'm in remission. I'm almost there. It's a 10-year long journey. I see a Atipi Mamwan almost every single day. I look out my window, he's flying out there. I'm like, okay, thank you. I can't wait till this last year, because then I can say, thank you, Atipi Mamwan. Now go find someone else to eat. Clean out someone else's life. But it goes like this. This is Karuk language. Atipi Mamwan, Atipi Mamwan, chimichura nukokani. Atipi Mamwan, Atipi Mamwan, chiminupi kyamithuthani. I know that's a lot of words, and there's a lot of, it's almost like Espanol, but not. Atipi Mamwan, Atipi Mamwan, chimichura nukokani. That means, come on, let's go. Atipi Mamwan, Atipi Mamwan, chiminupikyam nukokani. Chiminupikyam nukokani means let's fix the earth. So come on, let's go. Come on, let's fix the earth. So that's Atipi Mamwan's song. Let's try it. Good luck. I won't stare. Try your best. When in doubt, just sing Watermelon. Here we go. Atipi Mamwan, chimney chura no kokani, a tipi mamuan, a tipi mamuan, chiminupi kamethuthani, a tipi mamuan, a tipi mamuan. I'll take the hard parts. Chimichura no kokani, a tipi mamuan, chiminupi kamethuthani. One more time. A tipi mamuan, chimichura no kokani, a tipi mamuan, chiminupi kamethuthani. Aho! Good, good. That was good, Karuk. Our language is a little strange, but it's beautiful. What was I coming for? Oh, I was coming for this. I forgot to tell you a very important song. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? Are we good? We got some time still, right? All right. First snow. The snow's up there, right? Okay, so here's a little inside of who I am. So I'm also a songwriter. I'm just kidding. You can tell everybody. On Spotify. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm a songwriter. I work for the church. That's like my job, and I've done it for like 34 years now. I'm going to be, by the way, plugging Mass. If you're a Mass goer, we're doing Mass tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Come on and join us. But you don't have to. But it'd be nice to see you. I don't know if there'll be more pan dulce. I don't think so. But we could say there is and maybe bring people.
We're going to be native.
Oh, darn it. All right. Anyway, my daughter went on retreat this weekend for the first time. I have a bunch of kids. I have 5 kids altogether. 4 of them are grown up. They're up and off and on their way. My youngest son, who's 24, he'll be 24 this year, 23. He lives in D.C. Oh, it's a crazy place. He worked during the Biden administration. He worked in the White House, which was really exciting. And like my son, I'm like, he's a hero. And he's all, Dad, I got a job promotion. I said, what? You're in the White House. How can you do that? And he worked for Department of Treasury, the Treasury. That was a promotion. I'm like, okay, whatever. But anyway, he's coming home this next week. I'm so excited. I haven't seen him in 3 years. And so, like, I can't wait to, like, squeeze him and love him. But my daughter, she went on retreat this weekend. And, of course, you know, this weekend rained like crazy, right? And so my wife was paranoid that the bus was going to fall off the mountain and everything. The worst thing that could possibly happen, right? But she made it. She was okay. But before that retreat, we have, at the church I work at, we have a couple of guys who were born in Tonga. So like in the South Pacific, right? These guys walk around with no shoes in church. Like, you know, they're doing their thing and it's like, all right, we know where they come from. It's cool, right? They wear something when they're just relaxing called a lava lava, which I have, but I just haven't had the courage to wear it because it's a man skirt. They look great in it, but I don't know if I would. Anyway, I may be brave one day and wear a lava lava. But like, Saya was going up on retreat, right? And we're like he was with my wife and I, and we're like, oh, we just hope like the rain stops while they're driving up on the bus, right? And like he was smiling, like a trickster smile, right? And we're like, what are you smiling about? He's all, I've been praying for snow all week long. I've never felt it before. So it was his first opportunity, right? So rain. Sunday morning, I get a text at 6:30 in the morning from Saya, and he's like, "It happened. It's here. I found my first snow." And then he must have been about a half an hour later. He said, "It's already melting." But why am I telling you that? Because I got to teach you the first snow song, and I text my daughter who was up there. I said, "Did you remember to sing the song?" And she said, no. So I sang it for her on the phone. And I said, try to sing it. But this is a song that comes from the Bishop area. I'm trying to think, it's kind of in the middle of California, but it's in the east. Kind of as if you were kind of going to Las Vegas. I don't know if you know what I mean? It's mountainous. It's beautiful. There's a place out there that's called the White Mountains, and the Paiute people out there call it the home of the Great Spirit. And it's a powerful place to be. It's beautiful. There was a time when water ran freely through that area, the Owens Valley. And then something happened, cut tape, Los Angeles stole all the water back on. And anyway, it's a beautiful place. But, boy, I'm forgetting, first snow song. When the snows come, it means different things for different tribes. When the snow comes, it means that it's time to come in. It's time to share stories. And so with that first snow up there, that's what it was good. Tani sina ana mama no hopen. Tani sina ne na ana mama no hopen. Tani sina ana mama no hopen. Tani sina ne na ana mama no hopen. Tani sina ana mama na hopen. Tani sina ne na ana mama na hopen. Tani sina ana mama na hopen. Tani sina ne na ana mama na hopen. Ana mama na hopen. Ana mama na hopen. Oh, very good. I love that beautiful song. I think when I asked my daughter if she sang it, like there's a part of me that like thinks, like, I'm only 54. I'll be 55. But like sometimes I feel like I'm 80, you know? Like my bones hurt. But like I think to myself, who's going to remember these songs, you know? Like I feel so privileged to know songs and stories and to know how the song and story are connected to what's happening, you know? By the way, that I'm breaking the law again. Cut tape and, no, just teasing. But I joke about that. But there are some of these kind of older rules that I don't always understand them. But that last song is a woman's song. So the women would come out and the women would sing that song. I believe it has something about gathering water later. Like they're honoring the snow that's coming now. The women would gather water. It was a good life as an Indian man sometimes. You would hunt, go into the sweat lodge. The women would be making food. Like, what happened? No, I'm just kidding. But that women's song is so important because you beautiful women are the life givers. And we menfolk honor that. Or we should at least. You're the life bringers of this world. And so, thank you. It's beautiful tonight. Daniel, I'm not excluding you from tonight, but it's beautiful to me that we're gathering with women. You know what I mean? I believe that that's how our world will change. You know? Got to become president soon. Please. We need you there. We need to think differently. I want to tell you a story. I've never told this story out loud before, except to my daughter and my kids around the fire. It's an important story. It's a Karuk story. It's a story about how the people got fire. So it's a great story. So I have to tell you the once upon a time special word, Ukni. Let me tell you a creation story. A long, long time ago, in a galaxy right here. A long time ago, there was no fire. People didn't have fire. And the world was cold. colder than it is out tonight. The people would eat their food without cooking it. So everything was cold. And it would get so cold that the people, and I'm thinking about sitting around a little circle like this where the bear and coyote and mountain lion, those people, even turtle was sitting in this circle. It would get so cold that ice would be forming on their fur. But one night, in the cold of winter, Old Man Coyote said, "We've heard that there's fire. We know of a place that has fire, but it's far upriver, high up in the mountains, and it's guarded by the Yellow Jacket Sisters." And all of those companions sitting around that circle shivering gave a gasp. These were not kind ladies. These Yellow Jacket Sisters were like not very nice. And so Coyote said, "Let me tell you my plan." And so they got together. He shared the plan, and they were in. The next day, the next dark day, Old Man Coyote started walking upriver, up high into the mountains. And after a few days of hiking, he finally saw in the distance a beautiful lodge with smoke coming out of its smoke hole. He knew he was close. And so he stepped a little faster, even though he was old. He kind of put a little jump in his step. And he came up to the door and peeked in. And there he saw the Yellow Jacket Sisters sitting around the fire, cooking acorn soup, for goodness sakes. So delicious. And everything was bright and warm. And Coyote said, in his tricky voice, "Hello, beautiful ladies." And the three Yellow Jacket Sisters said, "Who are you and what do you want?" And he said, "I'm just an old man and I'm cold." He said, "If you let me in, I can make you more beautiful than you'd ever imagine." And so the Yellow Jacket Sisters said, "All right, but no tricks." So Coyote came in to the lodge. It was warm, wonderful, and he grabbed a piece of cedar that they were using to smoke the salmon. Oh, sounds so good. It probably smelled so delicious. My mouth is watering. And so he put that cedar into the fire. And for the first time, Coyote felt warm and warmth. And it was wonderful. But he had a trick up his sleeve. And so he made that piece of cedar dark from the fire. And so he took it out, cooled it off, and he went to the first sister. And at that time, Yellow Jackets were all yellow. So he used that piece of cedar and he would put black lines around their body, like a Yellow Jacket looks today. You know that little bottom part that has a little circle? That was Coyote. It's a nice design. And so even their eyes, remember their eyes are black? That was from Coyote's artwork. Very beautiful. And so Coyote did that to the three sisters, and they had these little basket bowls, and they could see their reflection, and they felt so beautiful. Like they looked incredible. And so this was the moment. Coyote said, "If you close your eyes, I'll make you even more beautiful." And they put their heads together and buzzed, bzzz, and they said, "All right, but no tricks." And so they closed their eyes. And just at that moment, that was the moment for Coyote to grab an ember from the fire. And as softly and quietly as the moon moves across the sky at night, Coyote left the lodge and started running down the hill as fast as he could. No sooner was he out the door, the sisters knew what happened. They were tricked by the trickster, and they were mad. And so they said, "Come on, let's go get him." And so they flew out as fast as they could fly, and there's Coyote running down the hill, right? And those Yellow Jacket Sisters are coming so close. And Coyote tripped on a piece of wood, and he started rolling down the hill like a snowball. And just as he hit the bottom and the ember flew out of his mouth, right there was Eagle, ready to go. This is part of the plan. And so Eagle grabs the ember with its talons and starts to fly as fast as she can go. And those Yellow Jacket sisters are getting madder and madder, and they're fast. They're just as fast as Eagle was. And so she's flying as fast as she could go, but she couldn't fly anymore. She's getting so tired. And so she let go of the ember, and standing ready to go right underneath her was Mountain Lion, and he was ready. He grabbed that ember, started doing, Mountain Lions are fast, but the Yellow Jackets are faster. And so they're coming so close. So he's doing the best he could. Right before he got stung, he let that ember go. And who was standing there? The bear. Yes. Bear grabbed the ember. Started running down the hill. Bear, she ran into the brambles to try to trick the Yellow Jackets, but they saw her and they were flying right above her. And right before they stung Bear threw it out. And who was waiting there? Longworm. I know you're thinking, what's longworm? Think of an earthworm, But think of like a gigantic earthworm. Like earthworm was so big that he stretched 2 ridges. That's how big he was. And he had that little ember coiled up in his body. And the Yellow Jacket sisters were ready for this. So they knew where they were going to go. So they were waiting for that worm to land on the ridge. They were just about to sting him, and he lets it go. And who's underneath? Frog. Frog is under there. No. It was Turtle. Turtle was under there. Turtle didn't do so well. Turtles are slow. Very slow. And so Turtle was holding this ember, and the Yellow Jacket sisters are like stinging him, biting him. He's like, ooh, sorry, microphone. Eek, getting stung. And he says, I gotta go into my shell. So went into the shell and started rolling down the hill, thump, 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 thump. And just at the right moment, spits it out, and guess who's waiting? Frog. Frog was waiting for that time. With his long tongue, grabs the ember and swallows it. And then jumps into the water. And the Yellow Jacket sisters are so angry. How could they be tricked by all of these people working together? They're flying above the water, and Frog's just sitting on the bottom. Waiting for a day under the water. How is this possible? It's part of the creation story. I don't know. But Frog is down there. Finally, the Yellow Jacket sisters realized they got tricked. They flew back to their little house up the mountain, upriver, and Frog came out and was out of breath. She held her breath for so long that as soon as she popped up out of the water, she spit the ember into a willow that was growing next to the river. And the willow swallowed the ember. And all the animal people were like, we did all that work and now the willow swallowed the ember. What are we going to do? Coyote knew what to do. Coyote took 2 branches of willow and using some dry moss, one piece of willow here, little whole moss, willow, Coyote knew how to get the fire out of the willow, just like we would today. Friction. And then fire on the moss. And the animal people are all, yeah, come on. What are we going to do? So they built a fire, and they built a bigger fire, and the world caught up. No, I'm just joking. I was going to say the world caught on fire. Just kidding. That's a little extreme right there. That's not part of the story. But they built a fire, and for the first time, all of the people felt the warmth and cooked their food. The salmon, the deer meat. Oh, sorry, deer. They're so delicious and beautiful, but mainly delicious. And acorn soup. And that's how the people got fire. And that's how we cook on our stoves today. Thanks to Coyote and his trickster friends. And the Yellow Jacket sisters. We know, as Karuk people, there's only one place that the yellow jackets, bees, scorpions, and rattlesnakes, where they make their obsidian blades. Let's see. What time are we going till? I forget. 9:30? Just kidding. Does that include? Yeah. I'll wrap up with a couple more stories. Okay. Be very careful, for reals. No joke. We Cutter people know where the bees make their stingers. You've probably heard of it, Mount Shasta. Have you ever heard of Mount Shasta? It's one of our sacred mountains here. When you go home, check it out. It's beautiful. It looks like Mount Fuji, but it's like in Northern California. You know how did you know that we're part of the Ring of Fire here in the Pacific? So there's volcanoes all over the place. It's kind of cool. Yep. But don't worry. They're mostly sleeping, so we're good. But this is obsidian. This here is made from lava, from an explosion in a volcano. Now, please be careful. I'm super serious. One time I showed my son Jack obsidian for the first time. He's like, "Oh, Dad, that's so cool." He's like, "Oh!" He cut himself. So don't run your finger across this, okay? No cutting. Be careful. Here, I'm going to get you a dull one. No, I trust you. You guys are college students. Just be very careful, okay? It's like glass. And this is how people here in California would make arrowheads. So we'd make them that way. And kind of everywhere, right? All over the place. Here, let me get you one more. Be careful. It's just very sharp. I gathered this obsidian not in Mount Shasta because I didn't want to run into the bees or the yellow jacket sisters or scorpions. I grabbed these in a place near Bishop that's called Fossil Falls. It's really cool. The first time I went to Fossil Falls, I was like, yeah, it can't be fossils, right? So literally, there's a field out there that is covered with this obsidian. Like, I don't know if it was miles, but it seemed like miles. If you were to look out, like from here to where, you know, the donut shop is, from here to there, obsidian. It's crazy. And that's where I grabbed it from. I wanted to try to make arrowheads, but then I thought, I'm good.
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe I will. Be kind of cool, right? We should find somebody who knows how to make arrowheads and we can do it. I got the obsidian. I don't know. My mom gave me a piece of obsidian. I should have brought that one. That's one I should have brought. And it's really cool. Want to see this one? Look at that color. I know. It's a big piece. Like, you see how these are real small? It's this big. And there's an edge cut off of it that someone used to make arrowheads, which is cool. And that big one came from Mount Shasta. But I don't know. The Yellow Jacket Sisters, they kind of creep me out. They're pretty intense. Okay. Let's see, where are we going to put this? Let's put this in the north. What did I bring here? This is tobacco. Tobacco is one of our sacred medicines. Oh, it smells so good. We use tobacco. You gotta give it a little smell. It's really, really delicious tobacco. Isn't that awesome? Mm-hmm. I think one of them was flavored with like vanilla, so it just smells good. Oh. But that medicine is important to us, not because we want to be smokers, but, and as a matter of fact, my mom learned a really important lesson about smoking when she went to New Mexico, when she lived there. My mom was a smoker. Listen to this. This is totally not part of the story, but like this is a side note. So like as a kid, when we'd go trick-or-treating, my mom would that would be the only time when we saw my mom smoking, right? And then what I realized is she smoked every day. Anyway, she just used that as a cover-up. Okay, sorry. But tobacco. Tobacco is an important medicine, one of the cardios that came from the East. when it's the smoke reminds us of the East and our connection, very similar to Catholicism. The incense, the smoke is a symbol of our prayer rising up. So that smoke of tobacco is a reminder of that. Now, there are times when we would smoke this, especially Karuk people. They're like smokers. I like, no excuse, Mom, but still. For medicine, like in ceremony, yeah? But a lot of times we use tobacco, like in the sweat lodge, we'd put them on the rocks. So the tobacco would smoke from the steam. You know what I mean? So it's not about this, it's about this. But that's a reminder of the East. What other goodies did I bring? Oh, I brought these shells. You gotta see these. I know this is not a biology class. But here, even better.
What type of shelf these are?
Tell me. These, take one and you can have one. These are really important shells for us. Let's see. Oy. This is called abalone. Oh, it's usually really beautiful inside. The reason why this is black is because when we're using sage, sometimes I'll rest the sage on this shell. And so, but this is like mother of pearl. So beautiful. These are important for us. I used to have, and I left it at home just because I've used it too much. But I used to have a shell that my great-great-grandfather used for prayer. It's really kind of a treasure for me. Yes, before we use them in prayer, we eat the animal that's inside of it because it's delicious. Abalone. I got to eat before I tell stories. I just get hungrier and hungrier as the night goes. But if you've never seen this, abalone kind of sits, it's an ocean creature, and it sits on the rocks like this, and there's a little creature inside here that sticks onto it and sucks onto it. And so, like, that's, yeah, those are yeah, like babies, right? But this would be considered a medium-sized abalone. The one I have from home is even bigger. And the one I have at home is red, which means it came from California. We have red abalone grows here. So, please. Little abalone. Yep. I didn't ask questions because there's a size limit. I didn't gather them. Let it be known on camera. I did not gather these abalone shells. Thank you. They were given to me. I hope you all have one. Take one home with you. It'll remind you of the importance of prayer. Okay? Okay. Oh, wow. This is like show and tell. So exciting. Oh, by the way, remember when I told you about wearing a woman's hat? So I went up to Karuk country and decided to buy a man's hat. So it still looks like an acorn head, but it's only made out of wool. Like, I'd rather wear this, you know? Anyway. Okay, so sorry. Maybe another song. Yes, are you up for singing another song? You guys doing okay? Do you want, we got to wrap up?
Actually, I'm curious.
Yes.
You could talk, share a little bit about the eagle feather.
Oh,
And
yes.
And the restriction around
Yes.
using it.
So that's a great question, brother. Let me show you. I brought a couple. And for some people, seeing part of a bird wing is kind of disturbing, you know? Like it's a real eagle wing. But for us people, like this was given to me, the wing. And I just had a friend make this. It's kind of cool. She wrapped it up. It wasn't Elena. But eagle feathers are, for us, very, very sacred. It's not like we wouldn't have an eagle feather hanging off of the car because that would be a little bit kind of disrespectful, you know? What we know about couple of things. I'm trying to answer that question in the best way because it's a great question. Not everybody can have an eagle feather. Eagle feathers are, they could be outlawed against the law. If someone saw me with an eagle feather, they can say, "Show me your license." And I would say, "I'm happy to." Anytime I go somewhere that I use eagle feathers, this one's a little beat up, but I have a permit to carry. Thank you for getting it. But anywhere I go with eagle feathers, I make sure I have this, because all of the feathers that I have been registered from the Fish and Wildlife. That's a way to go through it. I had to apply for an application. I had to have my tribe say that yes, he's a member of our tribe and is doing this work. So I had to get permission from my tribe. So anyway, that's how I was gifted this wing. And what I understand about this wing is there's a place in Colorado called the Eagle Repository. And they have, like, if an eagle gets cut or dies because of the big wind generators, the wind fans, like the ones out in the desert, a lot of times those birds will go through and they'll get chopped. But where does the body go? A lot of times they'll send them to Colorado. And then each wing is registered for each feather. So, like, for example, these here, these are less sad. To me, a relative gave up its life so that I could use it in prayer. You know what I mean? And so I treat it with respect. Back at home, it goes into a special place. Like, it's not just sitting out on the TV. But yeah, it's important to know that. These are tail feathers from a bald eagle. And again, a lot of times it should be a gift. Like, it's not something like I'm going to be like, hey, I want to get some feathers, you know, like it'd be fun to make a feather hat, you know. So most of the time these would be gifts for something, gifts given for something you may have done. But these feathers, from what I understand, are feathers that just fell out from the back of a bird. So this one might still be living. I don't know. It's a long time ago, so maybe not. But did that answer your question? Yeah. Not everyone can have an eagle feather. You can be gifted an eagle feather, which is important to know. I've done ceremonies for people when they've died that we put an eagle feather in when they're buried, which is important. And so the eagle reminds us of strength, of course, but it's the creator, that the eagle flies so high that it's up with the creator. So did that answer your question? Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Can I tell you one more story? Eagle. It's an eagle story. A long time, Ukni, let me tell you a creation story. A long time ago, the people were gathered, kind of like we are, but they were outside. And they were talking story and telling stories, just like we are tonight. But they were outside, and they looked up, and they saw all the beautiful stars. And so, I don't know who it was, probably the bear, looked up, scratched his fur, and said, "Do you think there's anybody else up there?" And there was a big debate amongst all the people. And when I say people, I'm talking bears, mountain lions, you know, all those people. The turtle, the guy that got stung, everybody. They were all out there talking about, is there life out there? And so they said there's only one way to find out. Someone's got to go up. And so immediately, like 3/4 of all the creatures were out of it, right? Like the bear's not going to fly up, right? So it's all the birds or those who can fly. And like, it wasn't the penguin. The penguin couldn't fly, so the penguin was out. So it was all the big birds. Vulture, I think your mom one. Eagle, of course. hawk, and hummingbird. So anyway, they said, we're going to have whoever gets out there first and finds out is going to be like the king of or queen of all the creatures, right? So like it's an important race to win, right? So hawk, vulture, eagle, hummingbirds just kind of hanging out, being cool, flipping, buzzing all around, right? I love hummingbird, like it's the coolest creature ever. He goes backwards, forwards, upwards, downwards, upside down, there's whatever it needs to do, right? So anyway, the bear said, all right, birds, take your places. And so the bear sends them up. And so hawk, vulture, eagle. Don't ask me where hummingbird is. This will come a little bit later. All of a sudden she disappears, like maybe she got left on the ground. But they're flying so high. They're going really, really high. Some of the other birds just wanted to go just to see if they'd make it, like raven and crow. They tried, but they can only get so high, and then they finally sailed back. So vulture was kind of the same. Vulture knows how to fly up there high in the sky, but doesn't know how to go all the way up. So what was left was eagle and hawk, right? And they're up there, flying, flapping their wings up as high as they go. Eagle starts pushing a little bit higher up. There she goes. She's winning. Hawk is like, I can't do it anymore. This is too much. Oh, right? And starts to soar back down. And then it's just eagle flying so high. And she's getting so high that the air is getting really thin. So thin that she's like, I'm running out of breath. How am I going to do this? And so she keeps going as high as she can. And then she finally says, this is as high as I can go. We'll never know. She starts falling down dramatically. And just at that moment, hummingbird was secretly hiding on her back. And hummingbird goes zip all the way out into space. And a few days pass. And all the people were like, what happened to hummingbird? And eagle was like, I don't know. She flew off my back. And she just went out into space. All of a sudden, hummingbird zooms back in amidst all the creatures. And they're like in awe, like, what happened? What did you see? And in her little beak is a crystal. And that's the end of the story. We don't know where she got the crystal from. But there's a little crystal inside of Hummingbird's beak. It's from, you know who, I think. From the alien people. We have a song. We have a song about the alien people. It's called the Star Child song. This one's kind of mysterious. This is a song. This is a song from the Ohlone people. The Ohlone people are California. They lived in Monterey Bay, San Francisco, that area. There's a bunch of different Ohlones. There's a bunch of different tribes. This one is from the Rumsen Ohlone people. There's Mutsun. There's like 7 bands, I think, or 5 bands of Ohlone. Anyway, this is the song when we get ready. I had the privilege of kind of being with those Rumsen people for a few years. And I sat on the drum with them and sweat with them. They do a bear ceremony. They're bear people too. They do a bear ceremony right here in Pomona, even though this is not their homeland, but they're still doing their work. But anyway, when they put on what people would say, sometimes they call it makeup, but it's medicine. When you see, one time we were doing a ceremony. To me, this is funny. I was coming to do a special First Communion afterwards, and I was running really late. Like the ceremony was late, and I'm like, man, I just got to run in. I had like all decked out, right? I had medicine on my face. So I come walking into the church. I come running into the church because like mass is starting in like 5 minutes, right? I'm like, woo! the priest says, he was like, he said, I don't quote, because he said something else. Where the heck did you just come from? Because at that point I'm sitting on the piano getting ready to play. Well, hi, Father. Sorry. I said, I just came from prayer. Let's go. But this medicine, they put on three, it's in that picture, I think. Is there a picture where I have the medicine?
It is.
When you go into the elevator, look, that's the medicine. Yeah. And that's because when we go into prayer, into ceremony, we go into the spirit world. Miwok people, they wear something. There's a bird called a flicker. It's a beautiful, it has orange feathers. They wear this over their eyes because the spirit world can be kind of creepy. You know what I mean? And so they wear this so they're like, okay, I'm still good. What's that?
A veil?
Kind of like a veil. Yeah, made out of feathers. It's really beautiful. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the medicine. There it is. I remember I asked Uncle Tony, who was next to me in that picture, we were talking about the white and black. And I said, like, why white and why black? And he said, white because it's a reminder of the spirit world. Black is because it's all the colors wrapped into one, which is really cool. I thought the black would be the spirit world. And he said, that's all the colors wrapped into one. So anyway, can I teach you one more song? I just want to keep telling you more stories. All right, we got to do this. We're going to do a little saging outside afterwards?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to sing this song outside. Afterwards, if you have time, we'll go downstairs. I have some sage. We'll just do a little cleaning, a little brushing, a little smoke, like not smoky, but just sacred smoke from the sage. This one is gathered here. Yeah, good stuff. But this is the spirit. This is the Star Child song. Ohlone people believe that when we die, that we cross this rainbow, and it's crossing through the universe. What's really cool about that story is that the Chumash people, again, this is part of their creation story. The Chumash people came from the west on the islands like Catalina, or there's the other islands that are just the Channel Islands. That's where the Chumash people originally came from. And sorry that you're going to get a 2-for-1 story, but here it comes. That on those islands became so overpopulated that like people were grouchy, they were getting mad at each other, and they're like, Creator, help us. We don't like being so close together. We need space. And so the Creator listened to their story, and he created this beautiful rainbow bridge. And it went, like if you've ever seen, like Catalina is what? Is it 16 miles across the ocean?
16 or 32.
Right, 32 maybe? Like that's a far away. That's a big bridge. And so the Chumash started climbing up, and they're like the Creator was like, come, there's a really beautiful land for you to live. Talking about this mainland, Turtle Island, right? And so they're walking over. And like these people had never been that high up in the sky before. And so they started getting dizzy. And like they're like, oh my goodness, there's no holders for my hands. It hasn't been created yet. And like they started getting nervous, and some people fell off in the middle of the bridge, and they're falling. And like underneath them is the ocean. Yeah? Like what happens when you fall far away from the top to the bottom? Right? Splat. Like Wile E. Coyote. So the people were like, Creator, help our people. And so Creator did. And right before they hit the water, they changed into dolphins. And so today, when you go, especially the coast here in Southern California, whenever you see the dolphins, it's the ancestors are coming to visit you. And so remember that the next time you go to the ocean, here especially, Southern California. Look in the water because they'll come out to visit you. And so anyway, but the Star Child song, this is the song that the Ohlone use and believe that we sing when we cross the other rainbow bridge after we die. And so it's a beautiful song. It's simple. Tuba, tu, wana se wana. Tuba, tu, wana se wana. Wana se wana, wa se wana se wana. Let's try it. Tuba, tu, wana se wana. Good job. Tuba, tu, wana se wana. Wana se. Wana se wana, wa se wana se wana. One last time. Tuba, tu, wana se wana. Tuba, tu, wana se wana. Wana se wana, wa se wana se wana. Oh, very good. Very good. Well, it might be time. But remember how I told you when we tell stories, it's a ceremony? We got to close the ceremony. It'd be like working at Target, and then when they close, you forgot to close the door. And so like all kinds of havoc will happen, right? People will be running in and out of the door. So we got to close the door. We'll close with one more song. And this is an important song. It's the Bigfoot song. I know. It's that guy. The Bigfoot song. Bigfoot for us. Like there's a big debate. You could keep the tape rolling. Very important message for the studio audience out there. By the way, you guys, when I went to Karuk country, I ran into some cousins, and I don't mean blood cousins, just Karuk cousins, and they're all like this, a little bit wacky, total jokesters, and I was like, watching this unfold, I'm like, I fit in. I found my people. I'm so happy. But Bigfoot, I know people have told you he's not or she's not real, but she is. Very much so. Up in where I'm from, or where my people are from, Karuk country, Bigfoot is the protector of children. So really important. He's a protector. He also protects all the creatures. So like, there was a really big fire up just maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago, really big. Where my mom and dad live, it almost wiped out the whole town. It was kind of like, that one fire in the city called Paradise? Did you ever see the news about that? Very similar, but they didn't get the coverage because they're too far in the middle of nowhere. But there were blocks, and remember, living in the mountains and the river, there were blocks that were totally wiped out. Kind of like Altadena. Imagine that, you know? But anyway, the story is told that before all that happened, that like people saw Bigfoot carrying out creatures, like they're carrying out deer that got hurt, and like my mom said, I didn't see them, but people saw them taking them out. Kind of cool. And then it took time, like where my mom lives, like I know, like this is like Finding Bigfoot episode, but my mom said that the female Bigfoot, they have a particular smell. The men Bigfoot, like they stink. They're like rotten meat. You know, you've heard that before, right? But the women, they smell, do you know what a honeysuckle is? It's an orange flower that's beautiful and sweet, and it doesn't grow up in Northern California. But there's times where my mom is out in the woods and smells that smell. And then it goes away. So it's like not a smell like, oh, I just turned the corner and there's a beautiful flower. It's like, what's that smell? It's beautiful. And then it just disappears. So anyway, we totally believe in Bigfoot. Like, totally. I'm all in. I'm in. There's old stories that say Bigfoot has kind eyes. And also that Bigfoot is connected to truth. It's all about truth with Bigfoot. It's like Bigfoot helps us discern what's true and what's not. You know what I mean? So you got to learn the Bigfoot song. This is how we close all of our ceremonies, because Bigfoot's with us. You know? I know. It's all right. Where's that web? Spinning some webs here. But it goes like this. I love this song. It's my favorite song. Because you can almost see him. Think of the big steps. Yah-hee-yay, yah-hee-yay, yah-yah-hey-oh. Yah-hee-yay, yah-hee-yay, yah-yah-hey-oh. Here we go. Yah-hee-yay, yah-hee-yay, yah-yah-hey-oh. Yah-hee-yay, yah-hee-yay, yah-yah-hey-oh. Here we go. Yah-hee-yay, yah-hee-yay, yah-yah-hey-oh. Yah-hee-yay, yah-hee-yay, yah-yah-hey-oh. Last time. Yah-hee-yay, yah-hee-yay, yah-yah-hey-oh. Yah-hee-yay, yah-hee-yay, yah-yah-hey-oh. Oh, very good. There'll be a test tomorrow on all these songs. I expect full choir. Thank you, guys. Do you ever wonder why my skin is so white? I would like to answer that question. I know when people think of Native people, they think dark, dark, dark skin, right? Not so in California. If you move north and then east to the Lakota people, yeah, definitely so. But a lot of the Karuk people, two things happen. There is a lot of mixing. I'm definitely not 100% Karuk, but my great-great-great-grandfather came from Denmark in 1850 because he was in search of gold. And what he found was my great-great-great-grandmother.
So she still found gold.
He found the best gold ever. Her name was Picune. And so Picune they're the beginnings of it all. Yeah. Sanderson was my great-great-great-grandpa's name. He was a miner. But anyway, people if you go up to Karuk country, you look and you go like, wow, my stepdad, who I consider my dad, he's from Cuba. He's Cubano. And he looks more native than the natives up there. Like they think he's like the Karuk. But anyway, I just thought I'd dispel that myth.